for this. 1, 2. Impact the scholars with this. My scholarship can never.
What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Foresight. It's your boy Arden talking to you.
Yeah, and it's your boy Wills.
Episode 69 of the show. Thank you guys for listening. Hope all is well. We are recording this, of course. We are recording this on Friday, January 18th, 2019. And of course, we gotta say 369 for episode 69. Or if you're a very nasty person, you can use that for another way. Now.
Oh, that nigga Arden is a freak, man.
Yay, let's get it. But yes, again, recording this on Friday, January 18th. Let me also say, because I was thinking about this too. So I was like, there's a big storm coming to our side of town. So do I tell people to just prepare, or more so a hope all is well? So I'm gonna go with the latter, hope all is well. After the storm, as you're listening to this on Sunday night. This storm, man, has been changing on us, bro. Because I was checking the weather, and I saw how first it was like, all right, we're supposed to get hit with 8 to 12 inches. I was like, damn. Then it dropped to 5 to 8. Then Sundays is supposed to be bitterly cold. For as much as we like to say brick, we can't say brick. We gotta turn it to a weatherman and be like, it's supposed to be bitterly cold on Sunday.
I saw the storm and I thought about if it snowed today, that we still was gonna have the show because Arden, he doesn't care. Our first episode.
Oh yes.
Our first episode was like one of the biggest snowstorms we had in like the past 5 years.
Big facts.
And it was our first episode, and this guy called me like, "Yo, you still down?" And I'm like laid up with like my girlfriend at the time, and I'm like, I don't know. And then she's like, "Just go," because he's like, "Yeah, I'm on my way out to White Plains."
Shout out to her.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, in my mind, I'm like, what is this nigga thinking? Like, why is he doing this? I'm like, it's snowing. Like, another day. I'm trying to Netflix and chill right now. So, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be here. So then I tried to spin him to see, like, if he would be like, nah, because I'm like, all right, bro, just give me like an hour. So nobody really waits an hour. He's like, all right, bro, it's fine. I'll be here with him. I'm like, oh, what the hell?
That's me.
I had to gear up,
That's
put
right.
on some layers, and walk. Yo,
Go
that
through
shit
the
is
trenches.
crazy, but.
Well, you see what happened, right?
But yeah, I love him for that, man.
You see that, right? God's plan. How to get it.
So that's all I honestly was thinking. I saw that, I was like, yo, it's gonna be a snowstorm. I'm like, the podcast is not gonna be canceled unless they was to close this. I'm like, okay.
Or you, according to you, would have an upset voice. If I would have saw it was mass snow, I'd be like, come on, man. We're not doing it. We're going another day. I care about you guys. I care about my people. But make sure you guys also listen to us on SoundCloud, on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at ForesightPod. Have to give a huge thanks to AK, our very own, for taking over the Twitter page, making it way more active, because I was getting trashed with running that extra page. And watch us on YouTube. Full episodes of Foresight is on YouTube. Just look us up. Thanks to Wills and AK for being like, hey man, we need the full episodes on so we can watch and show a funny moment. So, yes, I did it. I got to, man. For the people. First things first, I have to do a temperature check around the room. How's everybody feeling this week?
I'm good. Tomorrow's my niece's 3rd birthday party.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, so I'm doing that. Tonight I'm going to dinner for Johnny for his 30th birthday.
Word, happy birthday to Johnny, man.
Yeah, I'm good. I've just been chilling.
Taylor, what about you?
I've just been working, doing overtime.
Prime time tea.
Yeah, I've been working, honestly.
Prime time tea doesn't know when to stop. But, in fact, hold on, because this is one of my favorite episodes already, because Wills gets to do the intro for our guest.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. Wills, you better hold this man down.
You know I got you, my boy. So, alright, so we got a special guest today. He's a very good friend of mine. He actually he makes me feel good about myself when I see him. You know how like you have a bad day or something, and you see somebody and they always make you feel good. Like he's one of those guys. I met him through a few people. Like the first time I ever saw him, I think I was with like Shorts. And they was playing in like a showcase or something. And then that was cool. Then I started doing my thing and he noticed it. and I went up to his radio show at WCC, SRL, right? SRL.
Killing the intro so far, brother.
Yeah.
Keep going proud.
He's just a good guy.
That's my co-host.
I don't really like know him personally, but like from his gram, like since like I'm a father and I see like him like being a great father, it kind of like inspires me. Like I'm into that now. Just to let you guys know.
Yes.
I like check people out with kids. Like, oh yeah, that's inspired. I need to do that. Like this guy had a tent or whatever. It seemed like it was your daughter in the tent. It was dope. Yeah, see, I be paying attention. But yeah, it's my boy Fuge. Like, yo, what's up, bro?
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me, pulling up. It's like my first interview ever in my life.
Word. The man who does the interviews finally being interviewed.
That's what's up.
We've had some
I feel
exclusives.
special now.
Yeah, we've had some exclusives. First it was YB, being interviewed, and now we have Fuge. And let me say too, because Fuge also holds the honor, I think out of all of our 69 episodes, of being the first guest who not only shows up on time, but was the first at our recording spot. That impressed me off the bat.
Yeah,
That impressed me off the bat.
He called me. He's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm like, okay, you upstairs? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh shit.
That's what I'm talking about. I was
like, oh shit.
We got into the dab and the talk, but in my mind, I'm like, I really like this guy already.
Appreciate it.
Because time management with me is key.
Yeah,
and I was
as you can
very
see,
happy.
I'm always late.
It's funny because he's like, get in there, just call Wills, and Wills will be in 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, Wills is usually the last one to That's just how we do it. But that's what makes the show works. But Fuge, man, even just from as somebody like me that's relatively new to following your work and your pages, I think the one thing I see is, you're very busy, and you're somebody that is very unique in their own way. In regards to how they want to conduct their interviews, or how they want to present themselves. And just to really get into it, man, what was some of your earliest memories around hip hop?
Ooh.
Or as Soulja Boy once said, hee-haw. Hee-haw.
For me, man, I'm like a hip hop junkie. Like, this is like life. Like, I remember growing up, and I used to see like the old heads in the hood. You around, so you're looking at the older people, and you're like, yo, I don't want to be like that when I grow up. Like, they looking super lame.
Yeah.
And like, you looking at, 30, 40-year-olds, when you're younger, and you looking at how they dress, they style, and you're like, yo, what happened? Like, when did they lose their sauce? Like, what happened?
I couldn't relate, I'm sorry.
Word. You know what I'm saying? Word. So I used to be like nervous about like growing up, getting older, because I'm like, yo, they're gonna try to like change us. Like, they're gonna try to tell us like we can't, keep this hip hop culture thing that we do, like how we dress, our style, and it's funny Will said it, like even being a parent, like I used to sit back as a kid coming up and used to want to see like the dope hip hop dads, like the fathers who was doing it, So those were like my early memories of just idolizing all the personal aspects of hip hop. I'm the type who used to, like with the CDs, I read the back cover.
Yeah.
I want to see what you thinking. Think your mama. I want to see what studios you recorded in.
Same mode, bro.
So for me, I was always nosy in that way. Like I want to know what studios you went to, so I can visualize like how the session was or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So
right here.
and then looking through magazines and XXL and stuff like that over the years coming up, it was just no matter what I was caught into outside, in the streets or in the world, I still used to make it to the record store on Tuesdays or Best Buy on Tuesdays to cop a CD. And you know what I'm saying? I remember as a pup going to a record store. I'm from Mount Vernon, but I remember jumping on the bus, going to like a record store because the Locks was doing like a CD signing when we was young. He was in the hub. We was young niggas, so I'm like, nah, bro, they right there. Yo, we gotta go there. Like, you feel me? And get that picture and have that autograph on the joint. To this day, when I show up and kissing them, they be laughing. I'm like, yo, ugly, you don't even know. This is how, you know what I'm saying? This is how we really came up admiring people. So
I did that with you one time. He was at a camp, Highlands. He came to a camp. I think everybody was getting something signed, like the posters. Yeah. I'm like, nah, fuck that, sign my shirt. Got my shirt signed.
yeah.
They started copying that. about shirt too.
But you know what Fuge said, you know, it really brought me back because I remember the first album I did the whole reading the entire pamphlet in the back. I remember it was Bow Wow's Beware Dog album. I swear to God, it was Bow Wow's Beware Dog album. Yeah. Bow Wow's Beware Dog album.
That was a goat, bitch.
Yes, I was in second grade. And I remember because I was so excited to have the CD. Because I actually bought the CD from a real retailer. I didn't do one of my many trips
So you paid the
with my dad
$13.99.
to go to the bootlegger. Because I grew up in South Yonkers, so Getty Square, those bootleggers was out there heavy. So I would always go to them and get the bootleg.
Facts.
But I went to the CD store, got the name was in Getty Square. I remember I brought it to school, and everybody was going crazy. They was like, yo, you got Beware Dog. All the girls, this is back too when folks used to actually have posters on their room, but like makeshift posters. You get a picture, you like rip it, post it up, duct tape and all that. I remember I was like taunting the girls. I'm like, you see this? I got your names right here. You see this picture? I'm gonna hang this up right here. Fourth picture with the dog. And they're like, oh my God, I want to see the picture and all that stuff. And double XL, and the source was the Bible with me growing up.
Yep.
Read those joints all day. Also, the first times I actually saw what eye candy was all about.
Yep.
Oh, good times.
I used to be in like my room was filled with pictures all
On the wall.
Had a whole like Lil Wayne wall.
You think, let me just ask you, you think like fans of today would ever have that a video of today's artists? Like,
I don't know.
No.
I think
No.
they might be like,
Nah.
I'm gay for having another name.
yeah, like they look at it way different. We wasn't afraid to
We
be
wasn't
fans.
here because I used to have like whole everybody.
Everybody.
I think the dedication is different. I think the dedication.
But I also had women and stuff like that. Then after a while,
Trish
there
Stratus,
started getting too much women, and then my mom started being like, "Yo,
You nasty.
you nasty."
Yeah, porn shop in your room.
Yeah. But like I used to be a huge fan of like Britney Spears. I had Britney Spears on my wall. My cousins used to be like, "Why you got this white girl on your wall?" I was like, "Yo, chill out." But yeah, nah, I don't think so. Cause like I'm like a custodian like for the public schools. I'm a sub custodian, so I be going to all the schools. And when I be doing like the middle schools, they don't be having like no pictures in their lockers. Like I see them open their lockers or whatever. It be like a mirror or pictures of them and the pictures of their friends, like or something like
Because the
weird shit. But
poster.
it's like no pictures of like people they look up to. I remember when I was in middle school, I had like Iverson in my locker.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know.
That's because the pictures turned into fatheads. Well, it depends on the thing though. Like in sports, posters are now fatheads. So you're not gonna have a fathead in your locker unless you got like a really small joint that you can put in. But I think for music in particular, it's really more about like, oh, you're dedicated. Like, okay, like let me see your lock screen. Like let me see your wall screen. Like,
Or when you
It's-
used to wait for them to like come out with an album, like
Yeah.
go to the store and buy it, and in the back of the CD they would have a poster.
Poster.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember those.
Like they don't really do that. It's the lock screen, wall screen. Is your profile picture this person? Do you got a name after this person on social media? Like for me, I guess like Will's probably too. Like I'm a huge Drake fan. Like the only acknowledgments I really have of Drake and OVO is like I have like an OVO hashtag and then in my Insta bio and then my Twitter name is Drake's dance coach. That I just did as a joke, like Drake's dance coach. Like besides that, it's like unless you talk to me, or somebody told me, it's like you wouldn't know, because you're not gonna see me with some posters or something like that. It's like it doesn't really happen. I mean, there's also my laptop, you know.
Yeah, but like I mean, I think I still didn't even like, cause in my room, I still have pictures on my wall, but it's just three big. Like I have like two posters. I have the Biggie Ready to Die album cover,
Yeah.
and then I have like a big picture of Lil Wayne next to him, like just performing. And then I have like a big collage of Marilyn Monroe over my bed. I stole that from my mom because I always wanted it.
Big
Yeah, I think people, and I think that's what people do now. I think it's more like classic stuff, like you put on your wall. Cause like I even see like certain podcasts
Definitely.
or whatever, like in the back, they always have like vinyls or like pictures of like Michael Jordan, like classic moments.
Yeah.
The picture with Tupac and like
Yeah.
Madonna and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like
Classics
I
with
feel
Tupac.
like people is doing stuff like that now.
Like, we don't even see posters no more. Like before you go to Walmart and get
Yeah.
a poster.
Yeah.
Like I was in Spencer's like probably like a month ago or whatever, and I went to the back and I forgot they had the poster joint in the back, and I'm like, damn, this is actually where I got the Biggie shit from too. But I forgot they even did that. I forgot about posters.
Yeah, they don't really do posters, man. It's all in the fat heads, but just to continue, you know, obviously, Fuge, you had your start growing up in Mount Vernon, you know, taking in the history and really just enjoying that at that time. But just to fast forward things, what made you, you know, when looking into hip hop, being the culture and the genre that you loved and that you grew up on, what made you decide that, all right, I want to get into this as media? I want to talk, I want to interview, I want to do those kind of things.
Cause I felt like watching interviews and, you know, I was a fan of like the 106 in Park, you know, Rap City coming up, so The Basement, Big Ticket, and those shows stain my memory. Like they're stuck there. It's like a tattoo on my brain. I never forget the impact of seeing certain artists come on the show. And when I used to watch it, I always used to wonder like what it felt like to really interview your favorite artists. You know what I'm saying? Interview people that you admire and, you know, ask the questions and learn about their story in your own way. Like for me, I want to know about, you know, why Tay Bands or Johnny Price, you know what I mean, is the artist he is. What made him know this was the path he wanted to take. So for me, I only want to interview no big dogs. Like I only want to interview like the indie, the up and comers, the ones who don't even know how to do an interview. Cause then it's just more organic. We can have real, honest talk. You ain't filtered, you know what I mean?
I'm in that same boat as you.
Yeah, so that's really what intrigued me about it. I used to sit around, look at the magazines, and I used to be like, yo, I wonder how they put BMF together, that BMF record with Ross. How did Styles P get on the record? Like, we did see Styles P come out. If you would have had a pick for that, I think it was Big Meats. You'd have been like, nah, I know they're gonna get Kiss on it, but then to get Styles on it, we never even heard Styles on that type of record with a big artist like that. Like, that was like a commercial record for Ross. Like, but Styles was like a left field pick. I used to wonder how that came together. You know what I mean? And that's what really got me into wanting to interview in the media part of just like, yo, nah, bro, I want to interview people and talk about the real stuff that we talk about in the hood and we talk about in the barbershop. You know what I mean? And argue about.
I feel you on that too, because even with the podcast, like, Rules will tell you, even along with Taylor, and if AK was here, because in a group chat, I often will like text the group my ideas and get their input just because I want us to understand that, again, we're a team and any moves that we make, we're gonna make as a collective. Like yeah, I may come to the table most of the time with the ideas, but I don't think it's well, whatever I say go. Like I actually want everybody's input. Like so even with interviewing artists, I'm in the same boat as you in terms of like I like doing upcoming artists because it does make for the best interviews. So like I think about like interviews we had so far, but it was like Johnny, Tay from way back, Nico Brown, Dejour, a lot of those artists, it's like a coming of age moment for them because just even coming on our little podcast could be like a first for them. Like, yo, like I've never been interviewed before. I never had somebody care about me to the point where for over an hour of their time they want to talk with me. And I remember those 106 Park interviews with AJ and Free, or some of those sit downs on Rap City. And it's just, you think about those moments. It was actually a great interview. Wills, you probably have seen it if you come across on YouTube. There was that, it was one of Biggie's last interviews he did with a guy from BET.
Sitting in the park?
Sitting in the park.
Yeah, I remember that, Joe Cliff.
Yeah, Joe Cliff. And I really like that interview just because it's like, just look how natural it was. It's out in the open.
People walking behind.
Walking by, and there's Biggie. Now, of course, there's a daunting aspect of it. Like, this dude is literally about to be murdered, God knows when, at the time of that interview. But it's like, that will never happen today. You will never see somebody, even if you go, hey, I'm a man that got on a park bench, let's just sit down and have a talk right here. The only way it'll be an open if it's like in a big ass house in the backyard by the pool. Like that's the only way we see it. Like I seen that interview with Logic. I've seen that interview with Cardi and Ebro. Like I seen all of that. That's the only time it's in the open. In my backyard, just chilling. This is supposed to make me look natural.
Kendrick, that Vice interview that he did a couple years. That was similar to where his management was working out on the bench while he was sitting there. They was in the hut. Everybody was strapped. Chops they was smoking. Everything was happening.
I think 21 would do an interview like that.
He just did one. Well, academics came to his
That's
hood.
right.
He pulled up on him.
I seen it, but I didn't watch it. But I seen him on academics stories that swipe up. But yeah.
I really love those. Taylor, have you ever gotten into interviews in terms of like watching them? Or which interviews can you remember that you watched growing up or
I remember
recently?
watching like Tupac interviews because he's just very like.
Those are my favorite interviews.
I'm trying to think of other, like usually if I just like an artist so much, like I was obsessed with Rihanna at one point, so I used to watch like all of her interviews, Janae Aiko interviews, but yeah, I like interviews that are just more like a conversation, like it's not just like reading questions off of a list, like it just flows naturally and just
That's like somebody hit me up earlier and was like, "Did you see the Soulja Boy Complex?" And I know we're gonna get into Soulja, but he was like, "Did you see the Soulja Boy Complex interview?" And me, I saw it, but I didn't click it because I just felt like, yo, this is probably gonna be like a trash interview compared to Everyday Struggle and the Breakfast Club. I just felt like it was gonna be on some like, oh yeah, Soulja Boy, and it was just like that. And I just wasn't interested. I just like put the shit on and I just wasn't even into it. I'm like, yeah, this shit's trash.
Because I don't even think it was like an interview. No disrespect to them. I just think it was like you could have just sat in there with the green screen and just camera.
Yeah, and then it was like, why would Complex do it? He was just on Everyday Struggle. Everyday Struggle is Complex. Just leave it at that. Yeah, they was kind of milking it for the views. I felt like.
Because honestly, man, and this is something I really want to get into because Fuge and I, we got into this convo a little bit. Well, this part of our initial conversation, which is when honestly, look, bro, like when I look into media in general, and folks know like I'm actually like a media member in two different fields. For the most part, like I don't really rock.
Talking shit.
Like, I don't really rock with media like that at all. It's because a lot of times when I see folks who are media and they may be bigger than me or maybe in a bigger platform, and I'm like, you're not as skilled to be doing this type of thing. Like the setup of the interview, the type of questions you're asking, just the whole flow is like, what is this? Where is this supposed to go? And it's just like, personally, I feel like the best interviews are the ones that have a very conversational feel.
Yeah.
And like that's why like I love podcasts because it's the whole conversational feel. Like that's why like the Joe Budden podcast I like listen to because like it's very conversational. You talk about a lot of things. So like the interview he had a chance, I liked. The thing he did with Pusha was dope. Yeah. But across the board, it's like, man, a lot of you guys are just personalities that's sitting in those chairs. Yeah. You guys don't really understand what this journalism game is all about.
To bring it back to Soulja, he kind of said that on Everyday Struggle when they asked him something and it was like, so why didn't you tell us? Oh, like he was locked up or something. And it was like, so why didn't you tell us like what it was for? Like he was just like, I hate talking to the media because like y'all already heard something and y'all already like blew it out of proportion and it wasn't even that. So it's just like I don't even feel like talking to nobody now because it's just like I'm already in headlines for this and that. Now if I do tell a story, then I gotta tell it over. And it's just like he just was like, that's why we hate talking to y'all. And I was like, dang.
Yo, it's funny I say that because like for me, I'm not gonna say I struggle with it, but I battle with that because like, Wills, you know, we from outside. So, and when I say outside, it's just like, we on the other side of the curb. So, how we was raised in this joint is like, you don't have a girly mouth. Like, we ain't sitting around talking about dudes all day. Yeah. We ain't gossiping. But a part of this media shit is gossiping. Yeah. Like, you feel me? So, for me, it's like learning, like, my handle is Dude Boy Fuge, but then my tag is like the street corner journalist because I'm really reporting it to you live from the block, like how we sit and view it in our perspective, and then that's how I'm presenting it because I don't want that feeling like when a person is like, yeah, bro, I don't care about your personal life. I don't care what you do, who you sleep with, what's going on at the house. We don't care about that, you know? So for me, the media game, when I meet professionals like you who have that resume, like y'all really went to school, y'all learned how to do this. I have the utmost respect because it's like, yo, bro, you are a fan like me. You just really believed in your fanism so much that you went and learned how to become the ultimate fan and be able to interview your favorite artist. But you're a fan.
Yeah.
But you respected that fanism so much that you went and learned the polished way to be a fan. Whereas us, social media kind of made us, and it's kind of cheap, it's kind of not fair to y'all, because I went to school for this, where nowadays a lot of the dudes who ain't go to school is kind of not successful.
Or not even necessarily, forget just go to school, but just like went through the grind of molding
The proper
and shaping
channels that they used to
themselves
talk about.
to just, just to build yourself into it. But one thing you said too that was interesting is the fact that it's like, you say you struggle with that balance, right? Pretty much between what it is media on pretty much street code.
Yeah.
It's funny you say because obviously one of the more famous interviews we had in the genre was the Dame Dash Breakfast Club interview with the whole, what was it, Chatty Patty or whatever?
Yeah.
The thing is, even somebody who may think like Dame, even if you just going, hey man, I'm just expressing my opinion, just leaving it at that, or I'm just telling y'all what it is. They could even go look at you and go, oh, you still a Chatty Patty. Because why are you even talking about it? Like, why are you even mentioning it?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
I feel that way too, because and speaking of Dame, I seen an interview recently, and he was like responding to Bleak, and I didn't click on it just because I'm like,
was it him and Nick Cannon or no?
Nah, it was, I watched Nick Cannon. It was him and his man that he's been doing his little podcast joint with. Or whatever. Yeah, it's like hip hop something or whatever. He does it right in his crib. Like that's just hanging with something. So when I seen like the title was like respond to Mill Bleak, I'm like, damn, you just gonna like respond to everybody that say something. So I was just like, you annoying. Like I don't even want to like I fuck with Dame. Like he was one of the dudes I looked up to coming up. And it's just like, bro, it's like now it's like how you said, like you growing up and you see like the older you get, you see somebody and it's just like he's turning into one of them like older things.
It's disappointing. We used to look up to him. He was like one of our superheroes.
It's like now you becoming like corny. It's like kind of like my son Joel's with his teeth. Man.
Yeah.
Damn.
Rest in peace. I think social media did that to a lot of our like. And all of that. Like to a lot of the old heads and the OGs we used to look up to.
Yeah,
I think social media.
Yeah, because sometimes I be looking at my boy Jones like, damn, Jones, you kind of corny right now. But it's cool. Like I'm always.
Yeah, it unveils just that curtain, what's behind the curtain, and what it is about. Like,
especially if you don't know how to evolve.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, you can't just be the same. I don't care if you was that dude back in the day and you was getting, you was getting to the bag, you was popular, you was in a position of power. With that power, you still got to evolve your sauce though. You can't let your sauce just start to get diluted and watered down. You still got to be able to rebrand. Look, Kiss came back with a Caesar. Jose got a fade now with the Spanish and
yo,
and all that. You know what I'm saying? You got to rebrand.
With braids.
Tiger, you know what I'm saying?
Tiger. But nah, that Tiger, damn man, Tiger. Soldier made me appreciate Tiger more, bro. Cause that was a heck of a comeback, bro. For real.
And I really enjoyed that interview.
But freaking, what was it? Before we switch topics here, again, it's that whole point about social media is like the blessing and the curse behind it. Is the fact that I think at the end of the day, I think the biggest blessing I like from social media is how often we get to see how hypocritical people are. And it's why I always said over and over, I hate cancel culture, and I hate the fact that, and I remember Joe Budden said this maybe 2 episodes ago, how in this day and age, for as much as we say, we talk about Dame, right, we go, oh man, like we don't really like Dame talking as much or saying stuff. Joe had a great point as well, which is a lot of times these days, silence is often taken in a negative light. Like silence means guilt, or silence means this, that, and the third. So I always look at it as it's really a lose-lose, unless you're really in a position where you can stay silent. I remember Drake saying something about his mom was like, before you think about responding to anything, she's like, just think about this. Like, in 24 hours, it will bother you. In 48 hours, it will bother you less. In 72 hours, it's going to be all gone. She said, don't even trip about it. Don't even think about it. And I remember going, like, yo, that is true. Because in this ADHD age that we live in, everything comes and goes so fast. Everything has this moment under the sun, and then we forget about it next minute. Yeah. It just happens all the time. We talk about this topic, the baddest chick or the most handsome guy comes up on the timeline, either side goes crazy, then there's another joint that comes up and everybody's focused on that. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it very interesting times to talk about that. Taylor, I wanted to get your thoughts on that as well, because there was something on my timeline that came up on Twitter about this one very thick and voluptuous shorty that was working out in the gym.
Cool.
It was on my, I'll show you the video, I think I saved it. And
we know you saved it.
I had to save it
Of course.
for podcast purposes. but it was interesting because of the fact that it's just this, again, this very thick chick working out in the gym, but the convo broadened. I was like, oh, I like where this convo's going. Because folks was like, male and female was going, I don't like how you chicks that clearly got surgery want to go in the gym and act like you got that body. And I was like, ooh, I like where this is going. Well, let's talk about it.
I mean, I definitely think for a woman it's hard because like there are a lot of girls out there who actually go to the gym, like, and they show like, you know, transformation pics, and then immediately they have to always say in their pictures, no, this is not done surgically. Like,
Hashtag team natural.
Yeah, so, and I just think that it's always like you have to look a certain way. Like, you know, I feel like, I mean, I think it's still popular now, but like having a big breast and big ass, so like, you know, what is deemed to be beautiful. But I remember like seeing posts like, when is it going to be natural? When is that going to start being like, you know, more appreciated? Like, you know, Aaliyah, she wasn't blessed in all areas, but she was still beautiful. Like people, you know, like, you know what I'm saying?
In my opinion, it starts being popular when y'all make it popular.
When the females make it popular.
Because it starts with y'all.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're the admirers of it, but at the end of the day, it starts with y'all. Like, one of the things I realized having a daughter is like, yo, bro, y'all are introduced to things to make you feel beautiful before you're introduced to your own beauty. So even as a kid, like you know, as a young girl, you putting on makeup, you put on, you know, those little kits that come as little kids. Yeah, you know, so then like, y'all introduced to.
As always says aha moments.
You know, like so, and it always blew my mind because my daughter's 4. So now I'm watching her put on, like, you know, a little fake little makeup kit that she got from Christmas, and I'm watching her put it on, and then when she puts it on, she comes and says, "Hey, Daddy, look." So now, immediately the first time she did it, I picked up on it like, "Hold on, how do you like it?" She's like, "Oh, I love it." So I said, "So Daddy loves it," because I want to teach her. A man or no one else validates your beauty. I want you to validate your beauty.
Right.
Big facts.
You know, so, you know, it's just little things that I just feel a little different about. I think when y'all accept it and y'all make natural.
I mean, that is true, because I mean, it doesn't even affect me, because like, okay, you know, like Kylie Jenner, right? She, I guess, started the big lips, even though there's natural women who have beautiful lips. Before it was bad, but now it's good. Yeah. I don't know, sometimes I was looking in the mirror, I was like, no, should I do that? It's bigger, because that seems to be, and I'm like, you know what, no, like that's not what I want to do. So I feel like even though it's in your face, I feel like that it comes to you as an individual person, like being able to be like, all right, like that might be beautiful for them, but that's not me. But that just because it's not me, that doesn't mean it's not, you know, like.
I'm happy you did, because I would have slandered you.
Oh hell no!
Being your friend, us going back as long as we are, I'd have been like, yo, I'm like, yo, prime time. No, don't do that. Don't do that. But I think that's exactly why I wanted to touch on that, because it's like, I love when the conversation goes in another place most wouldn't. It wasn't just, God damn, she's bad, or women just hating, or guys just with some incredibly horny comments. It was just about the health and I guess the clout chasing and that, and it's a whole bunch of stuff. And I really like that, because another topic that we're gonna get into, which I felt like the conversation was broad, and was about Future. Future has been on an incredible press run. His latest album, The Wizard, dropped last night. Again, we're recording this on Friday, January 18th. And he had a documentary come out under the same name, which was a very good documentary. I liked it. And I think I liked it because it wasn't about, okay, let's paint Future in this light or the other. It was, this is Future. This was him back when he was just getting started and they was calling him Meathead. Yeah. This is him working his way up. This is him making these records, this isn't performing, and I really liked it. And the reason why I wanted to talk about Future just beyond the album, because here's my very quick thoughts on the album. I think it's very dope, and it helped lessen my concerns for Future, and this is why, and this is the combo I want to have. I was getting very worried that the end was coming for Future. And this is why, before I pass this to Wills. Because things were looking very quiet, in my honest opinion. Future was releasing records, and I wasn't really seeing the reaction, not just a positive reaction, but I wasn't just seeing the reaction of like, yo, Future just dropped something. Like, this is it. Like, Future just dropped something. It was quiet. It was just Future dropped. Okay. Future dropped. Okay. Future with potential baby mama. Okay, whatever. But it wasn't active as it was going back to maybe Dirty Sprite 2 or What a Time to Be Alive or and when Incredible and Hendrix came out. So I was kind of like, damn, is it really about to be like silence for him? But I was happy with it because of the fact that he responded back with a very dope album to me. But just to get back to the main point, Wills, when looking at Future and you seeing him with this album, but even before that, what were your thoughts on Future? Was Future always what he was to you? Yes. Or were you worrying possibly about the fact that things were getting quiet? Because of the new kids on the block, Gunna and Lil Baby and them.
Well, I'm a huge Future fan, like since 2011. Like, I love Future. So, I kind of seen when he wasn't hot, and then I seen when he got like super hot, and it was like, oh shit. And then, it did kind of die down, and I was worried at one point. I was like, damn, what's up with my son? Because like he said, he would drop shit, and it just wasn't clicking. I'm like, yeah, this shit's not it, or whatever. Because even like one of the joints, he dropped that Crush Up.
That's what I'm saying. Like
that joint wasn't it for me. But then he dropped like Jumping on the Jet. One of my boys, he don't like it, but I like love that song, and I thought it was fine. And I'm like, okay, maybe he got something. And then he did like a few interviews, and when he said, I posted it on our page where he said about Baby and Gunna.
Yes, thank you.
That's what made me realize, I'm like, okay, maybe he's just like falling back. He's not going as hard as he was. So that just made me be like, okay, I got faith in Future. He's just playing the like OG role now. Like he's not going as hard. We not getting like 5 mixtapes a year and shit like that no more. So and I actually like what he did on the Juice WRLD.
Yeah, I like that tape too. I thought the Juice WRLD.
So that's what made me think like, okay, maybe there's some hope. And then yesterday, for some reason, I actually forgot he was dropping The Wizard. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I just got in like my Future bag and I was listening to mad like old Future. And then I got on like FaceTime with my daughter, and when I got off, niggas hit me with the link to Wizard shit. And I was like, oh shit, what a coinky dink. I was just listening to that.
What a coinky.
I was just listening to some Future, but the album is alright, but I don't think it's over. And then the documentary actually helped because that made me go back and listen to like ES2, like when he said
you start remembering how many records he has.
Yeah, and then like he told the story like how Fuge said like how you be wanting to know, like you want to know the artist or whatever, and like know how you created that, because it like it kind of I don't know, it just makes you want to listen to it more. It's just like now you know, like I don't know, you can like paint the picture basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So in the documentary he talks about making this. I thought it was a drought. The song is like, I just fucked it big, just some Gucci flip flops. He was really wearing. He told the story how he was really wearing Gucci flip flops, and he was like fucking a joint. He went straight to the studio, and Metro was there, and he like told Metro like, yeah, I just just finished fucking a joint. And then he was like, let's start beat on him. He just went in there, and then Metro was like, I didn't know what he was gonna say. He just started freestyling. He was like, dirty sodas, white girl, iced tea, and then he was like, I just fucked it. And then Metro was like, oh, it's lit. And then he was like, and then the same thing with Rotation. He was like, he came in the studio, he really had the little pistol in his pocket or whatever, but he was like freestyling or some shit. He was like, and I had my pistol in my pants or whatever. And Metro was like, he looked at Future's pants and saw the little pistol and was like, oh. So it's just like shit like that. It's just shit like that. It just makes you go like, damn, like.
It makes you appreciate
So I went back and listened to the whole DS2 after that. I'm like, yeah, this shit's fire. And I'm painting a picture like this nigga in the studio with the pistol.
Fellas, I think that documentary was needed because we didn't really know Future before that. Like all we knew was the mess or the T, as y'all say. Like all we knew was the T, as the girl said, of what Ciara. Like we didn't really know. Like a lot of people didn't know. Like that Dutchin family tattoo on him. It's like, yo, bro, you was really Goody Mob, Outcast, young boy. Like,
and because I thought he was just like there, but like he was really there. Like Andre was on that documentary.
And shout out to 3 Stacks.
3 Stacks kept it. Him and his son said like, Future is like their favorite artist right now.
Makes the most, what is it, the most negative, most inspirational music
ever. You see him like with his son, the one Ciara had by him, Future. You see his son like having mad fun with him, like performing and shit. Like, so it's just like, Ciara, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, I love Ciara. Don't get me wrong. That's my wife, though. I love her.
Oh, speaking of Ciara, yo, one of our best moments was we was talking about Ciara and her husband Russell Wilson.
Oh,
and one of us confused Russell Wilson with D'Angelo Russell. And that literally was one of the best moments we ever had.
That was funny.
Yeah, that's one of the best ones we ever had. But Taylor, when you think of Future, right? Because again, we briefly mentioned it, how besides the music, we always heard about Future and Baby Mama and or whatever, or the Ciara situation and things like that. How do you personally take in Future? Like, do you do the whole separate the artist from the man, or what he does in his personal life goes into how you really feel about him, and then kind of gets you listening to his music? Like, how do you handle that?
I mean, like for any artist, like first I'm introduced to them with like their music, and I remember I forgot what song. I think it's like Trap Nigga. Like last song. I was like, oh my god, like I really like it. Yeah, like because I feel like Future has like his own like he has his own little sound. You know what I mean? Like he has his own way of like his own little thing. And like what's that song? Panda. Like I really thought at one point that was Future because that sound right. That sounds just like Future. So I feel like he has his own very unique way of doing things.
Biggest cover in rap history.
So now when you like hear about like his issues with Ciara and stuff, then like sometimes that kind of like taints with like his music. So I'm like, alright, do I really want to support him? Because I thought he wasn't involved in his son's life, and then when you're saying that, so it's like I think that I don't know. I just feel like the music kind of really opens up the doorway to really get into like
the biggest thing I heard from Future that really caught my eye, and one day we're gonna have a conversation about this, was Future saying he was scared to tell his fans that he stopped drinking lean.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
That really caught my eye. And
so then maybe that's why he really fell off, because like that's what they said about Wayne when Wayne stopped.
Yeah,
that was the reason he fell off.
But that's why he said he was scared to tell his fans.
Yeah, that's right. No, because I had this conversation in my group chat, and I said that I'm like he's seeing like what happened to other artists. I'm like supposedly Wayne was like hot. And then when he stopped drinking, he didn't let the world know he stopped drinking. Then everybody started saying his music changed just because he told them he stopped drinking. And me being like a Lil Wayne fan, I didn't think it changed. I thought like he just sounded better. He just wasn't doing as much as like singing and auto-tune. He was just more rapping. So I heard the change, but like I don't think like nothing really changed.
But I
see like that's why Future, my fault, but I see like that's why Future probably didn't want to tell his fans, because then he was already kind of quiet, so then like him being quiet and then him telling us like, yeah, I don't drink no more, they'd be like, oh, that's why he's quiet, that's why he's not dropping, he's not drinking, he's not on the lean, that's why we're not getting this, so I'm not getting that, or whatever. And then now, he told us, so now everybody's gonna be like, oh, we need that lean Future.
But here's the thing though, I don't think he should go back to that. Besides health reasons, the reason why I feel like that confession would have made for a big moment for Future is because, I forgot who said this recently, but they elaborate on the fact that Future for this generation, right, besides our generation, but like Generation Z, like those kids that are like teenagers now or entering their early 20s, they really followed his way, like they followed his footsteps. And you look all over, whether it's folks that are rapping to just the lifestyle of it, it's a lot of people that are little Fuges. And they definitely took part in the lean drinking and the toxic behavior that they maybe have undergone with women. And I think for Future, it could have been a prime example of him, not prime example, prime time for him to take that and maybe spin it for some good. And for a while, it may sound corny now, but what if Future could have made like a trap but more relatable version for the youth for like a 444? Just that reality of just, hey man, I'm letting that go. This is what I'm still going through, but this is mature. But this is for us, people from that look like us, that experience what we're going through.
I don't know how you could do that.
But
I see what you're saying.
Is that his job though? Sometimes I feel like we have these elaborate opinions of what an artist should do, but it's like realistically, bro, he's just an artist. He want to make music. He's not here to be no life coach and it's like, bro, I'm going through this because this is what I'm dealing with to be able to cope with my circumstance. Some people could have a hard day at work, and when they leave, they go to happy hour. Right downstairs right now, the bar's lit because a lot of people couldn't cope with the day at work, so they went to the bar happy hour. For him, my happy hour was lean and bud, but I'm not going to be an advocate to be like, yo, you kids should, because at the end of the day, hip-hop artists do not ask to be role models. Yeah. They don't know how to be that. It's like, bro, I only know how to perform my art form. Because success came along with this, and I'm given this platform to be here, and you look up to me, doesn't mean I look down on you, or doesn't mean that I'm the one that should be teaching you how to go about your life. It's like, bro, I'm learning how to go about my life. You know, and sometimes with fame, I think we expect because they're famous and successful that they should just be the advocates too because they have a platform.
I have a agree-disagree mindset with you. Like, I agree that, again, like, 99.9% of these guys and women don't really go into it expecting to be the role model. Like, I get that. But at the same time, I also feel like, in a way, you still owe. If there's a teachable moment, if there's something where you just put people on, I feel like there's still a moment where you do. Because at the same time, there were still certain things that you broadcasted to the world and put people on. So like, if you got the rappers who constantly broadcast a certain lifestyle, or you got certain female rappers that may have really just highlighted the sexuality aspect and did a whole bunch of things where they kept showcasing it to the youth and to the crowds, you made that your responsibility and you made that decision consciously. And I feel like if you're willing to do that, then if it comes time to where it's time to flip the script and they can really just do something where it's not about you being the full-time role model, but the same way you was encouraging something, I also feel like you can also discourage and let people know if it makes sense.
Look at it like that though. To be honest,
Meek says it all the time. He'd be like, yo, I'm not a role model. But he does like this dangerous attitude.
Yeah, and I just think it's not about having to be necessarily just a role model. I just think, again, it's about just the way you live in, just with the things you're projecting. Like,
but I don't think they look at it like that. Like the harsh reality is.
And I think that's sad.
Our people don't look. Hey, but that's your opinion to say it's sad because it's like, because you're good at this, and when you become successful with this, why should you be judged by your journey of learning who you are as a man? You may have done this, you may have done that, you may have done that, and it's like you're learning how to deal with that in your own personal life. And because you're on this platform now, people see more of that of your life, but you didn't ask for that. Like, you didn't go out here and say, I'm advocating lean. Lean was something a part of their environment, just like tattoos and bud is flowers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I had the same conversation with a friend recently, like a real good friend of mine, because he didn't understand. His child is now, he said he posted on social media that he just seen his child smoking bud in a Snapchat. And I'm saying to him, yo, Buzz, every day on your Snap, you smoking bud though. So I know you didn't realize you might have influenced her when you were smoking bud, because that wasn't the thought of why you on your snap, you chilling. Same way Future. I'm not here to promote lean. I'm not even getting paid from promethazine. They're not cutting a check. I'm not sponsored by them. But this is my lifestyle, just like the clothes we wear, you know?
Like I said, I'm getting where you're coming from.
Maybe some people gonna have to try it or whatever. Not they don't have to, but people try it and then they'll probably realize like it's not for them.
But I'm just saying, still, it's like, again, Fuge is making great points, you're making great points. Everybody who's made that is making great points.
Because you're right in what you're saying, like there's a responsibility. I just think that they have to be taught that. Like if they have someone in their team that be like, yo bro, you know, a lot of kids followed you with this. It has to be brought to their attention because a lot of people don't look at it in that perspective. And I don't feel they're wrong because they don't.
For example, like Lil Wayne with the whole shooting with how he shot himself.
Yeah.
And for years, everybody thought like, cause he always say, yo, I was just high and geeky and shot myself. And then this year, he tells everybody like, I was really trying to commit suicide because my mom wouldn't let me rap.
Mm-hmm.
He said the only reason why he told us finally is because all the stuff that's like what's been going on in the world and all that. And he was like, Mac, like how you said somebody on your team, Mac on his team, because like Lil Wayne is just in his own world. So Mac is more in tune. So Mac had went to him and was like, yo, maybe I think it's time you should let the world know like what's up now, because like a lot of people are going through this stuff and like they look up to you. So I feel like you would help them by talking about it now. So that's why Wayne told everybody. But like he said, it got to be somebody on your team, or you just really gotta want to do it. Like,
or you've like learned. I feel like artists can't teach like other people unless they've learned lessons.
yeah, like A Boogie said, the only reason why he popped pills was because he listened to Future March Madness over and over and over, and he loved Future. He's like, that's the only reason why I popped pills was because of him. But I don't think he does it anymore.
But yeah, I just feel like again, it's like you guys are right, but I also just feel like personally, I feel like Future, with how much influence he has and what he can do. And like I said, it's not about just completely changing or being the upbeat role model, but it's like it can be done. Like at the end of the day, everybody, if they're fortunate enough, can have their coming of age moment to just be. And again, in rap, that's the beauty about rap and our culture. It's not about we have cool names. Just forget being a role model. You could be the big homie. You could be the OG. Like you can do such things, and it's gonna show your evolution. Now, doesn't mean it's gonna translate to great music. It's not a guarantee. But I personally would just appreciate the approach. And maybe my mindset is also different because being somebody that's worked with children in various roles for almost 10 years, I'm probably one of the very few that like probably in the start kind of realized like, yo, like I gotta hold myself accountable because these kids are impressionable. And I also have a point to where really my social medias are followed by kids and families. So I have to be extra careful how I move just because I have that.
But do you see how you, like in your story that you're telling us, do you see how your influence was introduced to you early? A lot of people don't know they're influential, bro. Like, the Future is just working on being the best Future, being a successful businessman, continuing to make money and take care of his family. He may not see the influence that he has on affecting another grown man's life to follow me and do something. Yeah. Because for a lot of people, that's mind-blowing to believe that hip-hop or any form of entertainer can really, as a parent, can't nobody influence my child but me. I mean, I drop the ball as a parent if my child is picking up the laptop or their phone and being influenced by that. That's entertainment, bro. That means as a parent, I dropped the ball because I didn't introduce him to other variety or other options of dope things, which is why kids don't idolize police and teachers and all that, because y'all don't make it look lit. Y'all don't make it look cool. The rappers and the dope boys at least pulling up in something foreign and makes them want to do this. Teachers and all the positive thing that the positive role model people, they don't do it in a cool way. Not saying it can't be influential, but I think that has to be a focal point of doing it in a dope way to make the kids see you working with these kids. You see the impact you have. Future ain't working with no kids. Future working with the music, so he's not seeing it how you seen it. He's just knowing when he's hot and when he's not, because he's working on his craft. I just don't think rappers have that team or that people around him to have these talks to be like, yo, bro, like you said, not me, where they like, yo, bro, let's look at right now the influence of it. Because even when he rolled out talking about he didn't want to expose that he's no longer drinking lean, it wasn't a rollout from his team. It was in a Rob Marksman conversation with, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was planned on a documentary. It came out in media. So if he was really aware of that influence, it would have been a part of the documentary. It would have been a part of the story, and he would have been able to capitalize off of it.
But I really hope,
you know,
there's a lot of rappers like nowadays, they say they stopped drinking lean, like Lil Baby.
A lot of them,
they say they stopped drinking it.
And unfortunately, some deaths have like incurred, like Max Def, Lil Peep.
Come on, we a hard-headed culture, bro. It gotta be extreme.
I know, and that's what I hate. Some people I know, and that's what I hate.
Unfortunately,
it's like, come on.
Like Quavo, people are trying to like Quavo with the Big Brother record on his album or whatever. That was kind of like trying to like tell the youth like, yo, you don't gotta like do all of this to get all of that. You can go another way and shit like that. So.
But before we move into a final topic, to me, I just think my final point would just be the same way artists, regardless of their views, are knowledgeable of how to present it and they keep on pushing it. I just feel like if you're able to, regardless of who you are, consistently push a message out or messages out constantly through your records and your actions, then at some point sooner than later, or right away, you also need to understand the other side. And if you're not understanding the other side of you pushing these messages, then something's wrong with you and your team. Like it's like the same way to being somebody, if you in the street and you doing street things that could put your life at risk, if you not understand the fact that like, yo, I could die or go to jail behind this. Yeah. If you oblivious to that, it's like, come on, man. Like it's like, come on, big fella. Like you can't do that. You can't do that, G. You can't do that.
Like for example, like Johnny, he works in the school, so we tell him all the time, like certain things, like yo, you shouldn't post this or you shouldn't be doing that or whatever. But he doesn't listen.
Oh yeah, Johnny sometimes listens.
But yeah,
that's great, y'all. That team that we talked
about. And we've been like that from like the jump before we even like kind of got organized. We always like told him like, yo, bro, maybe you shouldn't do this in your video or you shouldn't do that because like you do work at a school, but
and not just take too much time. I think it's great that y'all even see. This is the change. Like we're talking about artists being more aware of it, but the fact that we're even having this conversation and we're at the entry level of media and working with indie artists and things like that. I think this is the beginning. This is where it starts. So before they get to a future level, they've already had people around them saying, bro, listen. And we talk about this outside where, unfortunately, a lot of indie artists don't look at what they do as a small business. They still look at it as, yo, you know, I'm just nice, I'm a rapper. And it's like, yo, bro, you have to become a business now. So when you start looking at the best interests of the brand, and that's what you're doing by pointing those things out. After the job that you work at, because you don't want to do it for the job, you want to do it because that's how you really feel. And that's what artists saying. It's like more people should feel that way. I just think that Black culture, we don't really look at the responsibility of our influence. We don't really see it because it starts even in this level. Y'all started my interview talking about things that y'all admired about my page. Blew my mind, changed everything the way I look at it. You know, and sometimes I even did it with Wills and many artists when I'm telling them things about them because I studied their social media. You know? So it's dope. It's a dope time.
He was like one of the guys that inspired me to keep going with the podcast. Like he was like, yeah, I'll be in soon. I'm like, yo, but I don't know if I really like it. I don't like my voice. He's like, nah, you sound good. Do your thing. Like, you sound good. You perfect for it. I'm like, alright.
Good. And that's good because honestly, you need extra encouragement. For real.
Especially in the Black community.
Oh, preach. I
not
like
for real. Because it's honestly, it's not always enough. And you know what, man? Because again, we got to talk about Big Soldier. But it's something that I reflect on a lot when I think about my last relationship, which is, regardless of the fact that I could have been that voice of encouragement, of positivity and everything else, sometimes you're just not meant to be that voice for some people.
True.
That message will just resonate more with others. Does it suck? Hell freaking yes, it sucks. Especially when you reinforced it so many times. But it's like, hey, I think that's why people always said to some of your best conversations in life could come with strangers. because it's just the feel of it, like
Yeah, like
the gems,
yo,
the
man, I
listening.
had a dope conversation with a taxi driver last week. Yo, man, this guy inspired me to like, I don't know, but he just motivated me, man. He talked to me the whole way. Like once I sat down, we were just having a conversation like about my job and all this other stuff. And he was like telling me like my worth and shit. He's like, you work more than that shit. I'm like, damn, nigga, you don't even know me, bro. He was just like, I could just tell up your energy and like how you like I don't know. I was just like, all right.
Shout out to him, because I ain't gonna hold you, bro. 1 out of 10 taxi drivers slash Lyft drivers can only get a conversation out of me. Hey man, just drive. All right?
Most of the time I'm quiet on my station.
Stay quiet. I'll give you these 5 stars to get out of my way. But in terms of getting in the way, Big Solj. First of all, let me say, Soldier's interview on Breakfast Club is already one of the top interviews of the year, hands down.
Hands down.
And this is what I'll say too, because yes, there's the whole antics being involved, the whole yelling, the whole exaggerated saying of people's names, Drake, Tiger, and your man's was bugging, bro. He walked into High 97. He's looking at the he's like, Drake, who's this? Who's this? Who's this? Man said, who is this to Beyonce on the wall? I'm like, yo, relax. relax, Draco. But I really enjoyed the interview because, again, as a listener and as a viewer, you have to be able to strip away everything and look past the what's presented at you. And I have to give Soulja credit because Soulja was right about a lot of things. Like Soulja was right about the influence. Soulja was right about the internet. Soulja was right about the bullets he took. I vividly remember those days where he was randomly beefing with like Nas and Ice-T and those guys.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he was right. And I'll even say to Soulja, dating back to what we talked about earlier, man, it's you got this attention, right? You got what you wanted. Now use it in the right way. Because sooner than later, especially in this day and age, you're gonna become a character. And it's not gonna be my man's fault when he samples the Drake part at the end of his next time and date. When Drake drops 9 p.m. in Chicago, and you hear that Drake, and my man starts giving you 60 bars.
Drake did not respond to Big Draco.
No, we got the Drake sample. 40 already got it set.
Yeah.
Boy Wonder got the drums
Yo,
right.
Wills, we gotta get ours some OVO merch, but you OVO'd out. I ain't even gonna hold you.
I
You
know,
OVO, sorry. Nah, we gotta get limited. We gotta reach out to all of them. You need it.
You know, I'm serious.
Yeah, seriously, bro. You deserve it, bro.
We got the Drake
That's what
sample
he
on
just
that.
because his nickname is Black and my phone went down as OVO.
OVO fly. That
Scared hours.
I think it's dope though.
Yeah.
I think it's needed. He picked up right when Tekashi left off. Being like, you
Yeah,
know,
that's what I said. But it's kind of like he was doing it, then Tekashi picked it up, then Tekashi left, and then he just
doing
picked
it
Yeah,
again.
he just
Well, let me ask y'all this though. Isn't it refreshing? Like, even if it's the weird, it's just like, yo, bro,
Yeah.
for the last 2 weeks, bro, it gave us something. We had all we had, but it just gave you that. Even whether you like it or
Yeah,
not.
it's kind of
It's
like we needed something.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
6 9 was gone.
And I've said publicly, I miss it.
It was like
Yeah,
I
me
read,
too,
I
me too,
read,
bro. I
I
ain't
read
gonna
was
front.
kind of dry. Only thing we was really
It was
getting
trash.
was like a bunch of pictures of Meek Mill and his friends and.
I ain't gonna front, bro. I'm getting sick of Meek in the picture.
Already?
Meek need to relax, slow it down, man.
Already?
You had the biggest comeback, but relax.
He loved
Meek
it.
is the Twitter. I'm happy Meek made a return on Twitter. Oh yeah, Taylor, I gotta show you the tweets Meek had that had black women all mad at him about the wigs.
Oh,
reference he
my
had.
God, yes.
oh,
That's so
Meek said I was
much.
sitting that joint. I started moving. I was demoralized.
Yeah.
He said I was sick of it.
The lace front
Yeah,
joints.
people
Yeah,
still
right.
in.
But I ain't gonna front. The ladies was they was coming at him, but not
They
really.
was sick.
Like, yeah, but like they was coming at it more on some, oh, what you think of this one? Oh, so
Yeah.
you would have hit if it was this. So it really wasn't like
Yeah.
a negative spin on it, cause, you know,
It was
I get it. It was like a healthy conversation because guys don't really talk about like
females here.
yeah, like
Yeah.
their input because I think women get like,
Especially guys at that level.
Yeah.
Especially someone at that level where you
Girls take the hero person.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna front. There was Shorty at the Chase Bank down the street had a very wonderful natural haircut that I had to compliment her on. Oh, she's there next week, so I think we should. I'm out here being brave. Gotta shoot. But yeah, I think with Soulja before we wrap up, man, I just think it's all about just taking advantage of the opportunity. Like you got all eyes on you.
He dropped a video, I think. People saying it's fire. I think it's fire, but he just took my son, Hood Rich Pablo on. He took his flow, but it's cool.
It's alright.
But it's cool.
It goes way back, you know what I mean?
Everybody took his flow.
Yeah, Boss Man took his flow, you feel me? Put it
But
at the top.
Soldier's known for that. Like I've like always followed Soulja Boy. So like even when the Migos was like super hot, like he was still in their flow. Like he always doing like somebody's flow. So but it's cool. He taking advantage because people was like under his comments, fire emojis. Check it out.
Word.
I think he just wanted to acknowledge.
Yeah, that's what. But he said
He's like doing
I was talking about the Complex interview. It was trash, but I did catch the part where he just was like, "Yo, I really don't." He's like, "I don't know." He's like, "I don't really want 5%." He's like, "I don't." He's like, "I don't know what I want, like on a board." He's like, "Should I even take a pat on the back?" He's like, "I want something." So I think he just wants to be acknowledged. Like how we say he's the GOAT, like he wants the other niggas, like the rap.
Yeah.
But you know what though?
He's the
It
GOAT.
even goes back to free. We was talking about it. But pretty much it goes back to, hey, that saying, man, you make your bed, you lay in it. When you contribute to all that foolishness and that rah-rah, man, that you
Come around that rah.
yeah, when you kept doing that, it's hard. It's like we say about reputation and perception. It takes forever to build a reputation, but it doesn't take long to build your perception.
Yeah.
It just does. And Soulja and all those folks, man, when you keep doing all that crazy stuff that keeps building that perception of you, Soulja actually does have a reputation of really being an innovator. It's just facts. He is indeed an innovator. He is a godfather for this generation of rap. Like he's been out for 10 plus years. But all that other stuff he doing, the Migos, joining Chris Brown, Drake, and all that other stuff, your perception is you a goofy. You know what I'm saying? Like you a clown. Like you folks are looking at you thinking you on coke and all that, man. It's just because of the way you carry yourself.
He said it's a joke though. He said watch the Complex interview because it's towards the end. This is what I caught it. He was just like, he's using he knows like a lot of this shit is like foolishness, but he was just like, the way he said it, I guess he was like, I was mad, but he was like, people ran with it, so he was like, fuck it, it's funny, so I'm gonna keep doing it, because he was like, at the end of the day, he was like, I'm serious. He's like, but I also want to keep y'all entertained, because he's like, I know y'all laughing or whatever, and it's bringing eyes on me, so I want to keep y'all entertained, so I'm going to keep doing a little joking, but he's like, but I'm dead ass serious.
But you also gotta know what it's gonna get him.
But he dropped heat. Tekashi was acting crazy, but he was dropping heat at the same time.
But at the same time, it clearly didn't work for Tekashi right now.
Tekashi was stupid.
Stupid! But either way, still, man, before we wrap this up, Fuge, thank you once again for joining the show.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed this.
We've had a great time. This was definitely a great sit down, great gems. Fuge, let the people know where they can find you, let them know about the show and all that good stuff.
Appreciate you. We rock each and every Monday from 8 to 10, SRL Radio. You can catch us live on any of your devices through Mixler.com. SRL Radio it's an independent platform. We're actually one of the only shows that worked out a situation with Westchester Community College where we're allowed to do an independent show. So we broadcast live from the college through that. So it's a dope situation. I'm enjoying it, and we rock each and every Monday, and then we have the blog, SRL Daily.
Nice.
So I appreciate the love, man. This was dope. Like seriously dope. I think it was needed because people don't see this.
Yeah.
Like just like we don't see many artists from our borough of 914 uniting, people never seen media unite.
Yeah.
So like this is the first of ever. That's why I've never had an interview, or that's why other radio they don't, because people don't interview each other. They feel like you do what you do, and I told Will that when he was talking, I'm like, yo, bro, I love what y'all doing. It's needed. I like y'all keep me on my toes, because it might be an artist I wasn't even familiar with. Y'all put me onto it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always talk about y'all show on my show, because it's not. This shit is for the people, bro. It's for them to know. So just me coming on the show, it was needed. I appreciated this, and it was love, man. Y'all got something dope.
Seriously, that's true, man. And hey,
Got something dope.
I'm already excited about the possibilities of if we get that chance to do a live radio pop up.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this moment all my life. We here, baby. We live. Fuge up the air horns for me. Yeah, man, that is episode 69 of Four Side. Once again, listen to us on SoundCloud and Apple Music. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at 4SouthPod. YouTube us. Be ready for these next few episodes that we got coming up, man. We definitely cooking up for sure. And definitely, once again, since you're going to be hearing this on Sunday and after, we hope that you're safe and you're all right after this storm comes through. Free the boys up top, free the boys down low. You already know how we're rocking, man. I'll talk to you guys next time.
That was dope.
Seriously.